A lot of us have been very fortunate in our lives. We've grown up in environments where we had stable family homes, having two parents, having the opportunity to get an education, having after-school activities, even being able to go to college. We were brought up in environments where that was considered the norm. Compared to what so many kids face in our communities all across the country. And they end up involved in the child welfare system from a very young age. When we don't serve them well, they end up in that system for a long time.
The effect of abuse on infants and toddlers is dramatic and can be devastating.
Home was very violent by my mother's hand. Beatings all over my brother and myself, our bodies. Really, looking back, it feels like three pinballs kind of navigating each other, never any kind of like family unit or something you might see on a sitcom.
Many children in foster care go from placement to placement, and this is probably of the most concern.
I just spoke with a child today who had been in 75 placements. We hear that every move from school to school, you lose approximately 3 months of education. How do you have any academic success?
It's difficult to describe what it's like being taken from everything that you've ever known, where there is absolutely no certainty, and as a consequence, really only fear.
Who are these children and why are they coming into the criminal justice system? The single strongest predictor of a child getting into trouble was truancy.
A lot of the truancies start in elementary school, which is surprising. And it's really just a snowball effect. So you haven't come enough, so you're behind. And on top of that, we're talking about students who have had family type issues that cause them to get behind in the first place.
When I turned 12, my mom abandoned me and my younger sister. I went from being a bubbly, happy, eager student to angry, annoyed, irritable. I feel like the school system failed me by not paying attention to the signs of what was going on. Growing up, people always said that, being in the streets would either end you up in jail or in a grave. And I ended up going to jail. And I was lucky it wasn't the grave because of the things that I was doing, the people that I was around, the mindset that I had. I didn't care if I lived or died.
There are many ways to survive. The three big ones are you sell drugs, you sell your body, regardless of sexual orientation, or you do crime.
Like do illegal stuff to get money when you're worrying about food and clothes, and if you're going to be able to stay where you stayed last night, you can't really focus on anything else. I just needed something stable, something that I fully believed in and knew that it was okay.
CCYJ initiated the Supporting Early Connections program because of the need. We know that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity with young children so that they don't end up in foster care, which is extremely expensive, so that they don't end up in the juvenile justice system, which is extremely expensive. So those are the things that we want to prevent, and we know that there's a direct correlation. So it makes absolute fiscal sense to put the money in early in the game.
Direct service workers and providers are empowered as far as the law and policies will allow for. That's where the real work comes in.
Who wants to think of a kid that's getting abused and neglected? People don't want to think about that kind of thing, but people have to think about that kind of thing. And CCYJ has ignited a conversation in our community around the state about issues that before people weren't talking about.
When we remove a child from the home, we're promising we're going to provide them permanency, safety, and well-being. We promise a child who comes into the juvenile justice system, you're going to have the tools to lead, again, a successful life. Those are the promises, and it's time we lived up to them.